The streets will never make you grow. It's not a seed, it's a gutter. There's no happy endings in this life. So this is my message to you. The streets will never love you back.
Pow. What's up, guys? It's been a while since I've been on here. Haven't been feeling too good, under the weather. But I said, you know what? Let me go live tonight and let you know what's going on for tomorrow night. Now, live and let live. I see you. Mikey Miser, Jennifer Ledette, Boston J, my guy, Benny Bronx, Dino G, Rob D. To all you guys that came to hang out with me tonight, I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me. And look, through the course of life, things happen in life. And things that aren't planned. You carry a gun, you carry a sword, you carry a stick. Eventually, you're gonna use it, right? And you could fuck up your life, seriously. And that's what I did growing up. You look up to the wrong people, and you fuck up your life. But before I get into this story, because there's a couple stories, I want to give a dear friend of mine a shout out. Michael Bickings, Art of War, 24 live cage fighting, Friday, April 15th. Michael Bickings is a dear friend of mine. He helps me out every so often. And if you want to see a good fight, go to Art of War. You have a telephone number on there, 267-212-6833. And you can get tickets. I'm telling you, listen, these guys are warriors. I've been to these fights, and you know what? You might catch me at the fight. So if you're interested, I call that number 267-212-6833, and get some tickets. And you never know, you might run into me. And also tomorrow night, I'm gonna have Tommy Dades and Mike Vecchione. So they're going to be talking about this skull that was washed upon the shore. And eventually it was in the homicide division's case for so many years. And then eventually it fell on their lap, and they end up solving the case within maybe a week or two with the help of an associate in a mob family. So it's going to be a very good topic discussion. So tomorrow night at 7 p.m., Tommy Dades and Mike Vecchione. And I got a little lineup ahead of me for next week. I got Christopher Strom. This guy is a badass. He wrote a book, Brooklyn to Baghdad. And he was an NYPD intelligence cop. And he went to Iraq to fight terror. The guy was on 106 destroy missions. I mean, he's going to tell a story. And I'm just reading about him, getting to know about him. But he'll be on sometime next week. And then I have Craig McGuire. Craig McGuire just wrote this book, Carmine, 13th Avenue Boys. Surviving Brooklyn's Colombo Mob, with Carmine Embriali. Now, Carmine Embriali was a tough guy from 13th Avenue, tough with his hands, been around some wise guys, street guys, and we're going to get to this book sometime next week, but Craig McGuire is going to be with us talking about the book and things that are inside the book. So, we got some things to look forward to, and I got a couple other things going on. I got some Beth Avenue stories and stuff like that. But, look, inside my head, sometimes a lot of things bother me. I got to take care of myself. I got to take care of two kids. I always want to put God first. I'm at a different place in my life now, under the weather today, and stuff like that. Give me a minute, guys. Let's get a tissue. So I want to talk about growing up on Beth Avenue. Now, growing up on Beth Avenue, I'll tell you, I really had a lot of fun growing up on Beth Avenue. I had a lot of good friends. I lost a lot of friends, as you guys know. Little George Adamo was murdered. John Polio was murdered. Paulie G was murdered. Michael Marola was murdered. My friend John Padone passed away. Kid Richie Keenan passed away. Chestnut was murdered. And these things do affect me, because you grow up with these kids and they become a part of your family. That's how the Italian people are. You know, you come to my house, I welcome you, you meet my family. It's like you become a part of the family. That's the way it is. Now, I had tons of fun with these guys, getting into mischief, starting from a young boy, moving up to teenagers, and then eventually, men, and getting into crimes, robbing banks, and doing a lot of foolish things. Which, you know what, when I was a kid, in all honesty, I always wanted to be a fireman. I didn't make it to become a fireman because, you know what, because I became a product of my environment. I looked up to the wise guys, and then eventually I wanted to become just like them, just like everyone else in my neighborhood. In my neighborhood, if you made it to 21 years old, it was pretty much you're like successful. It was hard to make it to 21. If you made it to 19, that was hard. Blood on the razor wire, thank you. Blood on the razor wire. I sent him an email. I'm not sure he got back to me today, but we're in the talks of me going on Blood on the Razor Wire show. So, look forward to that. I think he has a great show. He did some time in prison, federal prison, and I like the way he conducts himself. And he looks like he's a real man and a man of his word. And a lot of guys on this YouTube, you really can't trust them. But there are some good people on YouTube, but you got a lot of creeps too, guys. And I'm sure you all know that. Chatting with Stacks, I see you. But Anthony Kamaj, what's up, baby? How's everything? But look, going back, thinking about, when I do those videos on Beth Avenue, I have a lot of memories that come to my head. And Beth Avenue at one time was a great avenue. It was always a serious neighborhood. You always had serious guys growing up. I see a Blood on Razor Wire. Yeah, definitely. Call me anytime. And Beth Avenue was always a serious neighborhood. It was a mobbed up neighborhood. And you always had the five families there. A couple New Jersey guys in between coming in and out of social clubs. Now, look, let's get to Joe Benanti, right? Now, Joe Benanti was always a brokester, but he would always sit in front of Anthony Spill's social club, and we would smoke pot with him, smoke a little weed, and he would always tell me, he says, Jimmy, you remind me of me when I was a kid. And I would say, yeah, Joe. I said, wow, thanks. I said, you know what? That's a compliment. And there was one time, I'll tell you, where I said something to him. He found out I made some money, and I was robbing banks. I was with Gerard Bellafiore and the kid William Galloway. I was standing in front of Nick's candy store, and I pulled up with a new car. Okay, and he looked at the car, and he said, "Wow." He said, "You know what?" He said, "Jimmy, this is your car?" He said, "Wow, this is a smart car," meaning it wasn't too showboaty. I said, "Ah, thanks, Joe." And then he asked me, he said, "What are you doing?" I said, you know, robbing a few banks here and there, making a couple dollars." And he wanted me to invest my money in something like a candy store or something. I think at the time they were selling a candy store on Bath Avenue, and he wanted me to invest my money in a candy store. So I told him, I said, "Joe," I said, "to tell you the truth, I don't think a candy store is going to do it for me." But anyway, I insulted him. And when I insulted him, he was mad at me for a couple of days. And then Paulie G came to me and he said, "Jimmy," he said, "Joe Benanti's mad at you." I said, "Why?" He said, "I don't know." He said, "You were talking the other day and you insulted him. You made him feel like a hill or something." I said, "Paul, I didn't mean to do that." And the way Paulie G told me, he said, "Come on, let's go talk to Joe and let's, square this off. This way we put this on the bridge because I don't want the guy being upset with you." And I went to go talk to him with Paulie G. And Paulie G, straightened Joe Benanti. I told me, he said, "Joe," he said, "Jimmy didn't mean it that way." Joe Benanti was an old school guy. He was a tough guy. And all his life, he was broke, in and out of prison. And he never, ever got lucky as far as making money. He loved to gamble and he loved to drink. And when he drank, you wanted to stay away from him because he wasn't a good drunk. Some people, when they drink, they're good drinkers. Joe Benanti was a bad drinker. Like my father. When my father drank, my father gave his money away. He said, "Hey, he give everybody in the bar money." Joe Benanti was the opposite. He wanted to beat everybody up. So we got 178 people in the chat. Thanks, guys, for coming. Dan Parsons, Miss Can't Be Wrong, Chaitano Bracco, Salvatore Gialette. Well, anyway, I'm glad you all came. I'm going to be on it for a little while, but we're going to talk about some stories. Now, I'm going to get into the John Polio. Growing up, John Polio he came to the neighborhood later on. Now, talking about John Polio was a great kid. He really was. He knew nothing about this life. Nothing. He came from around Bay 50 at West 12th near the Marlboro Projects. He had three beautiful sisters. One of his sisters married my Uncle Paulie, my mother's brother. So, in a way, I'm related to him. But he knew nothing about the mafia. So when he came down to Bath Avenue, he knew all about graffiti. So he turned this on to graffiti, and then we started doing tag ups. So my name was Pac, P-A-K, Pac Ain't Kidding. Fat Albert was Can, C-A-N, Can. John Polio was ID. And John Polio had two other friends. He had Peter and he had Jojo. Peter was I.O., Jojo was WAP. And, he knew all those other guys from the Marlboro Projects, Bo, Minnie, and they would do mad pieces on the trains and stuff like that. But he's the one who introduced us to graffiti and weed, John Polio. John Polio knew everything about weed. John Polio moved to Bath Avenue. He might have been, at that time, let's see, they murdered him at the age of 19. He might have moved to Bath Avenue at the age of, I would say, maybe 12 or 13, something like that. And we used to go tagging and bombing with him. So, and we also used to rob some cars. So Peter and Jojo, that was I.O. and WAP, they end up robbing. They didn't end up robbing. They end up like breaking a window, and in the car there was a suitcase with maybe $10,000 in it, and they end up buying everybody bicycles and stuff like that. So little Georgie was Fabrizio was Zep, little Georgie was Zap, and a lot of guys was, other guys. But we used to bomb the train yards. We used to bomb. Let me also give a shout out to my friend Keith. I used to go bombing with Keith too. So I forgot Keith's name, what he used to bomb. But we used to go bombing with the truck yards, as far as the garbage, the train yards, and that's what we used to do when we were kids. We used to go bombing, and then from there, you also had the windbreakers. Then we would go to Addis Skates. We would go to United Skates and hang out. We would have the windbreakers, and we have the big pilot markers, and you just be tagging up, on the trains and stuff like that. Or you'd be having stickers, you just slap them, boom. But those are the things we did back then, And then later on, as we got older, things started getting a little more serious. But everywhere we went, we always had a beef. We always had a fight. That's how it was back then, But it was nothing compared to today. I mean, me looking back, people were so much better as far as morals and values. Back then, it's like we all had the same morals and values. And the Democratic Party was a lot better than it was now. Not a way to the left, I mean, back then it was more like John F. Kennedy. John F. Kennedy was the best. But I'm not going to get into politics. So Joey Zane became a movie star. He used to come to the St. Fin Bar dances. We used to go to United States with him. There was a few, Lico, the kid Lico. He used to date Linda. He was a good kid from Beth Avenue, I think Bay 31st. They used to hang out over there. But our neighborhood, from Bay 50th to 14th Avenue, Beth Avenue, was always mobbed up. And then you had the other areas. You had Avenue X. Let me give a shout out to Avenue X. Let me give a shout out to Avenue U, Newtrick Avenue, 14th Avenue. I mean, downtown Brooklyn, 11th Avenue. And everyone had their own little crews, and every crew had a corner back then. And then you had the L. You had 86th Street. Now, back then, all the girls had the big hair, and all the girls were beautiful back then. And you'd be hanging out in the corner, and you'd probably have a jukebox, a big radio, and everyone be, you have some Guidos. I was never a Guido, but you had some Guidos that always had to be cool. They had to look sharp and stuff like that. But the times were so much different than how they are now. Back then, people had respect. And yeah, everybody was tough. Sometimes you got a one-on-one if you were lucky. If you didn't, you would get hurt. People were getting killed left and right. It was just a different world back then. Back then the neighbors helped each other. If you needed something, you knock on your neighbor's door and they give it to you. When I was on Bay 16th, 87, 84, Bay 16th, Fabrizio was on the bottom floor. I was on the top floor. Next door from me was Phyllis Varsalone, Lenny, and Joey. Now, Lenny and Joey was Phyllis Varsalone's two sons. Phyllis Varsalone was related to Dee Dee. Dee Dee was the girlfriend of Joe Butch. Okay, so this is how we know these people. Now, Dee Dee lived on 84th and 17th Avenue. That was Joe Butch's place. And we were very friendly with Joseph, Lenny, and we would go next door. Joseph and Lenny were the first ones to have a VHS and beta box with the small tapes We used to play the movies. So me and my brother, they would get us, and we would go in there and we would watch movies. We didn't know anything about a VHS. We just got introduced to this with movies. We used to watch movies like on TV, and then they had the VHS when it first came out. The VHS was great, and then they came out with the Elm videos on Rutherford and 18th Avenue, and we would go there and we would rent videos every day. I mean, listen, those were the great times back then. This was before the DVDs and the CDs, you know. But looking back at those times were great. I mean, look, then we would play wiffle ball in the middle of the street. Okay, we would tape the ball, or we would stuff the ball with paper to make the ball a little harder, and you would hit that ball as far as you can. And these are the games we played. Today, you don't even play these games. Today, it's all about the phone. Everything's on the phone. For a matter of fact, look, earlier I was at a friend's house, and we're all at the table. And in a way, we're always on our phone too. Now, if you take away the phones, right, we'll be more involved in our lives and people's lives, and you'll be more sociable. But since they created the phones, there ain't no more sociability. You go right to the phones. So the phones really ruined everything in this whole world. So, look, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to drop a link. If anybody wants to come on, they want to talk, I'll give you an opportunity to ask me a question. Okay, this is just, I did this on a whim tonight. I said, you know what, let me come on. I haven't been on here. I'm feeling a little better. I'm still under the weather. But listen, I'd love to come on. I'd love to chop it up with you guys. Okay, drop the link. If anybody wants to come on, New York Dad, I see you. Boston J. Look, I have a platform over here. My platform is to help other people any way I can. That's the reason I'm here. And I'm always going to use this platform to do the right thing.
Yo,
what's up, baby?
What's up, bro? How are you?
How's everything? Good. I feel a lot better.
All right. Yeah, I just wanted to see how you were doing. I hope you get better soon. I know you said you were sick.
Yeah, I was under the weather. I'm still under the weather. I'm still a little sick, but I feel a lot better. But how's everything with you? Hey, what size? You got size 9.5, 10?
I got 9.5s. A lot of 9.5s. I'm gonna start. Listen, I don't resell, but I'm gonna start reselling soon. I'm working on that now, and I'm gonna start reselling, and I'm gonna start letting you know when I got your size of anything you want. I'm gonna let you know in advance. You tell me what you want, okay?
Do you got any Do you got any Jordans like 3s or 4s?
Yeah, I got all that. I got all that, but I'm gonna have for sale when I do it. Like right now, my collection is like for me. But when I start doing the reselling, I'm gonna give you a call, and you pick out whatever you want. All right?
Okay, definitely, absolutely.
Yeah, but thank you for everything this weekend. You know what I'm talking about. I almost lost.
How's the kids?
Everybody's good. They're over here making noise and driving me crazy as always.
That's good. Hey, that's a beautiful thing.
I almost fell back. I almost went back to my old ways the other day. I got crazy on somebody, these computer gangsters and this, computer tough guys, and they don't know what's at the other end. That's what got me pissed off.
Well,
they don't know who's on the other end, and they start attacking me and calling me all kinds of names and stuff. So I went and I did my little research, and it's easy to find these people online. But then I caught myself, and I reached out to you. You were the first person I thought about, and I reached out to you, and thank God you answered me, and you told me, yo, leave that alone, bro. You don't want to go back. You got to worry about your family. You got to worry about your kids. And that's what I did. I just left that alone, bro.
And listen, look, that's what it's all about. I mean, look, people wish they had what you have. Yeah. Okay? You see those kids? Look, bro, you know what? Bro, you got a masterpiece right there. Kidding me? That's it. Forget about everybody else.
I'm a millionaire already.
That's it. That's what it's all about. It's all about those kids. You take care of your kids, you take care of yourself.
Yeah.
That's it. Forget about all this other nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Look, this is YouTube, bro. These people, you just ignore them and you just keep on moving on. That's it. You know what I mean?
They went at me, and you know, thank God you, and you know, all you said was one thing. Well, don't listen to that shit and worry about your family. That's it. That's all you had to tell me. You put me right back in line. And
that's what it's all about.
I appreciate it.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah. All right, let me get out of here. I'm going on live at 9 o'clock.
All right, buddy. I'll see you soon.
The New York Dad.
New York Dad. I'll see you soon.
All right, brother. Thank you.
You got it.
Right.
Stephen McGuire, what's up?
What's going on, man? Can you hear me?
Yes. How's everything?
Everything's good, man. I love you. I love all your stories, man. Everything about that. I first discovered you on I think it was a Mobsters episode when they discovered the Bath Avenue guys. And I think I just became obsessed, and now I'm glad I found you on YouTube. I listen to every episode, so I'm a big fan, man. Big fan.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Where you from?
I'm from Kansas City.
Kansas City. Wow.
Kansas
Nice.
City. Yeah, we got organized crime out here, but it's nothing like New York. They're like the minor leagues. You know what I mean?
You got some old timers out there.
Oh yeah, organized crime guys. Yeah. So, but they're, like I said, it's nothing like New York. Nothing like New York at all.
Kansas City. How far is that from Iowa?
It's far. It's like we're like right in the middle.
Okay.
Because Iowa's considered like East Coast still. So, but I love New York. I've been to Philly. I go to Philly a lot for work. I like the East Coast a lot. But no, I do got a question for you, man. I like learning about Paulie G. Sounds like he was a stand-up guy. Your best friend, your brother. I had a cousin that I grew up with in the neighborhood, and he got murdered himself. And he was a lot like him. He was good with his fist, and he was feared by a lot of guys. He was just a stand-up guy. But what do you think would have happened to him if he never got killed? Do you think he would have got indicted with you guys, went to prison? Do you think he would have got straightened out, became a boss?
Yeah, he would have. He would have definitely got indicted. He would have definitely got straightened out. I'm saying, and you know, Paulie G was a tough guy. I'm saying he was a tough guy. Sometimes he didn't listen, but you know what? He needed to. You know, in that life, you have to listen.
Yeah.
You know, you have to listen, and sometimes you have to make other people feel important.
Absolutely.
You know, and you know, in that life, you have to, I guess, manipulate people. You know, like you got to make believe that you're their friend and stuff like that, like you love them, because that's what that life is all about. Because that life is really all full of shit. You know, it's all fake. It's like believing in Santa Claus. You know.
Now, I know you always talk about how he always went to bat for you with Tommy Karate and all the other guys, but at the same time, it's a business. So you think long term, if he was straightened out and they told him like, look, you got to get rid of your guys, you think he would have still with the bat, or you think he would have had to do what he had to do?
You know what? I'm gonna tell you this. Look, if he was told to get rid of somebody, this is what he would do first. I know for a fact is he would talk for you. Understand? He would try to save you. That's the first thing he would do. And then if he can't save you, the next thing, I'm not sure. But if it's someone he loved, he's not going to do it. That's for sure.
I get that from your stories a lot.
If it's someone that's not close to him, you know what I mean? He'll take care of his business because he had no problem doing that. You know? But I'll tell you this. You know, the guy who killed him, he saved him plenty of times. And, you know, just at the end, it just goes to show you, you know what, how much of treachery is involved in that life.
Absolutely.
You know, it really is a scumbag life.
Yeah, like you always say it's your intro. There's no happy endings to it.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, and I grew up in a neighborhood. I grew up with guys, cousins. We all grew up together. A lot of them are in the drug game, and they're still involved. A lot of them are in prison. I had to back myself away. I got a family now. I got a wife and kids. You know what I mean?
Well, look, absolutely. And look, you know what? Anyone who has wife and kids shouldn't even be involved in that life.
No.
you know. So it should be a life like for single guys.
Yeah, in your
You know, no,
20s when you're young and dumb.
yeah, no wife, no kids, you know, stuff like that. Because, you know, honestly, times have changed. Everything changed in the world, and even the mafia. You know what? The mafia is not as strong as it used to be. You got so much shit going on out there. I mean, listen, you got MS-13s. You got, I mean, look what's going on in New York City. The crime. I mean, you know, look, it's a scary world we live in today.
Yeah, I
You know?
just saw, what was it yesterday, about that subway shooting or whatever. That's crazy.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, they picked up the guy today, thank God. You know,
They
but
did.
yeah, they picked him up. But listen, the cops can't even do their job no more. I'm saying. I mean, it's funny because something like this happens right away. They want to use the police, but then again, they want to defund the police. They don't even know what the fuck they want to do. I'm saying it's insane. Seriously, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, hey, I sent you an email. I know you're a busy guy. You probably get a lot of emails about. Do you have you still sell those shirts?
Yeah, I got. I got shirts. I got hats. I got mugs. Yeah, you can reach out to me on my Facebook or my Instagram.
I'll do
What
it
I
on
do,
Instagram. Okay.
yeah. What I do is I give you a hat, a shirt, or a mug for like $50. I'll send it to you.
Okay. You can do that. I'll reach out to you. I'll reach out to you on there later this evening whenever I'm not driving anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
Look, I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Hey, let me ask you this. So I just started watching all your YouTube shows like a couple of weeks ago. So how do I get notified when you're going live?
Press the button. If you go on my my page, there's a bell. There's a bell. Just hit the bell, and it'll give you a signal when I go live.
Oh, it does? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start doing that from now on, man.
Yeah.
I really
Tonight,
go ahead.
Yeah. Tonight was just. I did this on the whim tonight. And I said, you know what? Let me just go live. I haven't went live in about a week. Tomorrow night, I got Tommy Dades and Mike Vecchione on.
I love those.
They're going to be telling a story about this skull that was washed upon the shore, and eventually it fell on their lap. It was on the homicide division's lap for over 4 years. They couldn't solve it, and Tommy Dades and Mike Vecchione got it, and they ended up solving the case, I think, within a week or two. You know, so yeah.
So you guys are an hour ahead of me. What time does that come on?
Tomorrow, 7 p.m.
7 p.m. Eastern time.
New York time. Yeah.
New York time. Okay.
New York time.
All right. I'll be on there, Jimmy, and I'll reach out to you on Instagram about the merchandise.
Yeah, thank you. Hey, Steven, look, it was nice meeting you. Thanks for coming on, and listen, hey, thanks for following me, bro. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Take care, Jimmy.
You too. Bye-bye. Another nice guy. It's always good to see new people. You know, I like to see new people. A new member, USA #1. I got a new member over here. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thanks for following me. Michael Papagallo. Michael Papagallo, you should come on. Michael Papagallo. You're not ready to come yet? Okay. When you're ready, you come on, okay? Edwin Jimenez, I see you. Anthony Santoro. Yeah, guys. So, I was talking about John Polio. Look, in my neighborhood, look, John Polio was murdered for no reason. He was murdered because somebody didn't like him. He didn't disrespect nobody. They just didn't like him. That's it. He was a tough kid. He wasn't a disrespectful kid. I mean, they could have broke his leg, broke his arm, but those people were no different than a guy like Joey Calco. And that's the truth. Same thing like Joey Calco. When Joey Calco killed Jack Sharon. Jack Sharon was 19 years old, right? He walked up to him and he put a bullet in his head, a couple bullets in his head. That's the same thing they did to John Polio. I got 253 people in the chat. Thanks for joining me. Now, let me see. Let me bring something else up over here. Now, Friday night, April 15th, AOW 24, live cage fighting in PA. If you're interested, call that number 267-212-6833. My friend Mike Bickens. These guys are warriors. I've been to these fights before, and you might even catch me at the fight. You never know. This is an old photo of John Polio, little Georgie in the middle. That's me on the side of little Georgie. Little Georgie was murdered. John Polio was murdered. Now, like I said, John Polio was killed for no reason. He didn't deserve to die. He wasn't a murderer. He was a young kid selling some weed, some cocaine, okay? Didn't know anything about Beth Avenue at the time. I guess he insulted somebody didn't like him, and they decided to kill him. These are a couple memory cards, mass cards. One's John Polio, the other one's Paulie G, the other one's little Georgie Adamo. These are all my childhood friends that I miss very much. I wish I could go back in the time and change time. That's how much I miss these guys. I wish I could go back in time and change time and make a turn in the course of Beth Avenue and make us all have families, all our kids growing up together, eventually going to each other's weddings and things like that. Now, the guy Steve McGuire that just came on, he was asking about Paulie G. Now, let me talk about Paulie G for a little while. Now, Paulie G was a great kid. He was a loyal kid. He was a kid you could trust. If he had your back, he had your back like a knapsack. That's how loyal he was to his friends. He never robbed his own friends. He would always protect his friends. And when me and Paulie G first became friends, we had a fist fight. Little Georgie Adamo and me, we played their team at 200 Park. And he tackled little Georgie, and then I tackled him. And me and little Georgie were wrestling with him. But he was a strong kid, and we were fighting. And then I ended up bringing my crew from Bay 16th to Bay 23rd. And me and Paulie G, we had a one-on-one. We took a walk. We had a one-on-one. Well, Paulie G got the best of me. He was good with his hands. That's when we became good friends. Once John Polio was murdered, he got a memory piece of John Polio. Then little Georgie Adamo was murdered. I got a memory piece of little Georgie Adamo. That's this cough. I got a bad cough. But Paulie G was a great kid, and he didn't deserve to go out the way he did. Talk about the Vincent Bickelman murder. Now, when Vincent Bickelman robbed Anthony Sparrow's daughter's house, okay, he robbed a chain that said Jill. He sold it to a jewelry store on 86th Street. Someone in the jewelry store knew they saw the chain before, and they went to the club. And they told the guy, because they bought the chain, and they had Vincent Bickelman's name on it. And the guy ended up knowing Sparrow. Sparrow gave us that hit through Joe Benanti. Okay, he wanted Vincent Bickelman dead. We went out looking for Vincent Bickelman. All of us, every single one of us went out looking for Vincent Bickelman. We didn't find him. Paulie G found him with Albert slaving in the car. When he seen him, Paulie G jumped out of the car and he did what he was told to do. In the neighborhood, when you're told to do something, you do it. And that's what he did. The reason why he was murdered, because of an argument he had with Anthony Sparrow over the Bay Parkway kids. Paulie G wanted revenge for Chestnut. And Sparrow told him, Paulie, end this. Forget about this. Chestnut ain't coming back. And in the heat of an argument, Paulie G pushed Sparrow. Sparrow was a made guy. He was an acting boss. And Sparrow could have given him a pass. 100%, he could have given him a pass. But you know what? He didn't want to give him a pass. Because Sparrow was old school. And you can't hit a made guy. Those are the rules. But you know what? All the rules are bullshit. Because when you go to jail, they take your money. Okay? They hang out with your girlfriends. Okay? It's a known fact. The rules are for the guys on top, not for the small guys. So all that mob shit is a bunch of bullshit. Okay? There ain't no loyalty in it. There ain't no trust in it. They say they're your brothers, but in the end, it's your brothers who end up killing you. Who would want to be involved in that life? Seriously, today, who would want to be a part of that life? I wouldn't want to be a part of that life. I wouldn't want my son to be a part of that life. Look at John Gotti Jr., for example, okay? In an interview, I said this once before. He said, how much could my father have really loved me to put me involved in this life? That's how smart he was, John Jr., for him to acknowledge that. Any guy that puts their son in this life, how much do you really love your son? Think about it. It's not a life where you're a doctor, you're an attorney, you're going to rise to the top. Eventually, the guy that's on the top eventually is going to be on the bottom. It's just the way it is. Know what they say, right? Be nice to the people on the top, because you're going to meet them back on the way down. Let me throw some more videos up here, some more photos. This is a guy I'm going to tell a story about. This is Frank Porco. Frank Porco was a captain in the Bonanno crime family. His sister lived next door to my mother on 25th Avenue. Frank Porco was a nice guy. They called him Frank the Fireman because he was a fireman. And eventually, he rose to become a captain. When I met Frank Porco, I was a young kid. I met him in front of Anthony Sparrow's club. I was standing outside in front of Nick's, and he comes in Nick's candy store, and he just looked at us, me and my friends, and little Georgie knew him, and he said, "Hey, Frank." And he patted me on the head because he was a big guy. He was like 6 foot something. I was a young kid. He patted me, and he handed me a $10 bill. And when he handed me a $10 bill, I took it and I put it in my pocket. That's what these wise guys do. I mean, they see a young kid, they got a bankroll of money, they stake you. Here's $10. And you know what? I say, wow, you know what? Okay. I know his name. Now every time I see him, I'm gonna say hello to him. Hey, Frank. You know, and that's how I got to know Frank Porco. And I got friendly with Frankie. I was always respectful to him. If he needed something done, whatever it was, if I needed to run an errand for him, if I needed to do anything for him, I was at his disposal. And that's the thing you get to learn when you're a young kid, is that you see these guys, you're at their disposal because you want to do something for these guys. That's just how the neighborhoods work. Understand? You want to show them that you're capable. You want to show them that you're respectful. You want to show them that I'm here if you need me for anything. And that's how the neighborhood is. For example, here's another guy, Mikey Scars D. Leonardo. Okay, now Mikey Scars D. Leonardo was actually one of the better guys in my neighborhood. See this cough? It's killing me. Now, I went to Mikey Scars' wedding. I used to go working with him. When John Polio died, it was me, John Polio, and Albert Slavin that ended up going to Mikey Scars' wedding. When John Polio was murdered, Mikey Scars said to me, he says, Jimmy, I should have helped you. Because when he was murdered, we were having beef with Georgie Conti. This is after I got a little older. And I told him, I said, Mike, I said, that's fine. I said, you helped me. Don't worry about it. You know, because, see, in the street, there's guys that are in positions to help kids in the neighborhood when they know they're having beefs with other wise guys. But sometimes what they do is they turn their cheek and they don't want to help them because they don't want to intervene. But sometimes you need another wise guy to intervene when you're dealing with a wise guy. In all honesty, I think John Polio's life could have been saved. He didn't have to get murdered. The same thing with Paulie. The same thing with a lot of people in the neighborhood, growing up in that neighborhood. But that's what you become. You become a product of your environment. It's from generation to generation, to past generations. Everyone wants to become a wise guy. Everyone wants to become a killer. Everyone wants to become an earner. They want respect. That's how the neighborhoods run and work. Let me give you an old photo of back in the day. This is a photo of me, John Padone, and some kid Damien. Damien used to live on 17th Avenue in Bath. John Padone, 17th Avenue. And me, that's in front of my building on Bay 16th Street. Damien ended up moving to Long Island. I never, ever really heard what happened to him. He just moved off of there. It was probably maybe one of the best things he did. Hopefully he got his life together. But this is an old photo. I'm going to give you another photo, jailhouse photo, back in the day when I was in Lewisburg Penitentiary. Now, this is in Lewisburg Penitentiary back in the day. That's when I was a handsome guy. I was doing the time like I had a smile on my face. Okay, I was 24, 25 years old in this picture. I went to Lewisburg at the age of 23. And when I was doing time, I had some fun. That's me back in the day. And that's my ex. But that's a nice photo. That's why I bring it up. And I could talk about doing time. I could tell you all about doing time. Doing time. There's one thing about doing time. If you got a small bid, doing time is nothing. When you got a life bid, that's when you get the stress on your shoulders and inside your chest. Because now, that's your life forever. And when you're doing prison time forever, you live there. That's your home. So committing another body, committing another murder, that's nothing to you. I'm saying, because that's life. That's something you're gonna have to do. You know, when you're doing a 5-year bid, you're doing a 10-year bid, you're doing a 15-year bid, even a 20-year bid. You want to do that bid, you want to get out. You don't want to stay there forever. But when you're getting a life bid and you ain't coming home, it's a different ball game. I'll tell you, I had a lot of fun in prison when I was a kid. It's Nick the Greek told me about a couple of bank robberies back in the day. Let's see what else photos I got over here. I have a photo of me and Richard Brady graduating in Lewisburg Penitentiary. Now, here's a photo. This photo right here, the guy with the sunglasses, Chucky Porter. You see me next to little Ralphie Tortino. The guy that's next to me, next to Chucky Porter, some other guy, Ron. He's from my neighborhood. You got Mike the Head and some kid, Anthony, from the Colombo crew that was involved in the war. Now, back in the day, that Colombo War, let me tell you, a lot of people were involved in that Colombo War. That Colombo War destroyed a lot of lives. And it gave people a lot of time where they shouldn't have even got the time they got. Crazy sick time they got. Who got 15 years, who got 11 years, who got 13 years for doing nothing. They didn't even pull the trigger. They just conspired. Let me drop a link. Let me see if I get someone else on here. Guys, I wasn't going to come on here. I just came. This is a last minute thing for me. I said, you know what, let me come on. I haven't been on here in a while. I dropped a link. Murder Machine book is definitely a great book. The Mayo Crew, you got some Mad Hatters. Mike the Printer. No, you're right. I do need to rest up. 100%. Absolutely, Mike. Thank you. Actually, I'm feeling better. I was worse than this. Thank you, Roderick. I appreciate it. See Tommy from Brooklyn.
I appreciate it.
Yo, what's up, Jimmy? How you doing?
What's up? How's everything?
Good, good. Yo, I've been checking out your channel for a while, so I support it big time, and I like everything that you're doing. I had a question for you in reference to that book, Mob Over Miami. How accurate is that book? Like, did the woman who wrote the book contact any of you?
No.
Is it bullshit? What are your thoughts on it?
Well, you know what? Listen, I read the book a while ago. I was doing prison time when I read the book. I know Michelle McFay wrote that book.
Yeah.
Okay. I wouldn't say it's so accurate. That book is basically based on Chris's life. You know, when you write books, you write books because you want to sell stories, right? I mean, her information she got off of, I guess it was documented information. I'm not sure. I mean, some things in the book is true. Some things in the book, I don't think is so true. I mean, you know, she didn't get the story from me. You know, she didn't get the story from Chris. So I'm sure some of it is accurate, but not all of it is accurate.
Right. Right. Because, you know, a lot of the people in your crew, you know, there's not a lot of information on them.
Well, I can tell you this about that book. Now, if you got
Right.
the original copy of that book, I can tell you this.
So I'll tell you this, right? So about 15 years ago, I was going to college. I went to Hofstra in Long Island. I had a boring ass class, and I had that book, and I sat in the back of the class, and I read the whole entire book. So, and that's kind of how I found out about you guys. But you know, I'm more from the Bay 50th section of Bensonhurst.
Okay.
Not really the Bath Avenue. Obviously, I've hung out in all of the parks that you're talking about, but I'm about 20 years younger than you. But yeah, I mean, the book has a lot of information about your whole crew, and you know, like a lot of the people don't know about, you know, like Mikey Yamini or Gonzalez or these other people, except for the information that you've provided. And I guess a lot of these people are still out there walking around, you know.
Well, the thing is, in that book, if you got the original copy of that book, what happened was they got me pulling the trigger on Vincent Bickelman. So right there, I can tell you it's not accurate because I didn't pull the trigger on Vincent Bickelman. You understand?
Right.
So, you know, if you got the original when it first came out, it says, I'm the one who pulled the trigger on Vincent Bickelman. And I didn't. So there you go.
Right, right. So how accurate could it be? And yeah,
Exactly.
so as I was reading the book, I was thinking, and now obviously I haven't read this like 15 years ago, right? So I don't remember everything, but you know, you've been putting pictures from the book like on the YouTube videos. So
Okay.
I'm thinking, okay, well, he probably had to read the book at some point in time. But did you happen to read the book while you were in prison?
I read the book while I was in prison, of
You
course.
did, really? Okay. I have to ask you this, right? Like, obviously, we all young, dumb, we do stupid shit, right? But didn't you guys think at some point in time, like getting numbers tattooed on your body would have, you know, had the police like catch on to that? You know, you were part of organized crime, right?
I'll tell you, it's a good question. And the thing is, you know what? When you're a kid, you know, you just you want to make a pact with your friends. Okay. So this was an idea that Paulie G came up with. Now, when Paulie G came up with this idea, it was me, Tommy Reynolds, and Paulie G. We all went to 18th Avenue, and I think it was 80th Street, actually the same block where they killed Gus Faraci.
Right.
And there was this guy, Tony, that did tattoos. And we went up to his apartment. Tommy Reynolds went first. He got the number 3. And he hopped in his car. He had to go back to Jersey. Then Paulie G went. He got number 1. And then I went. I got number 2. So this was Paulie G's idea. And then within the course of that time, Paulie G told Fabrizio to go get one, told Mikey and Mini Gonzalez to go get one, and told Joey Calco to go get one. So that's why it was only 7. I'm saying. And in that course of time, obviously, I got picked up in May for a bank robbery, 93. And 2 months later, they killed Paulie G. So, you know, look, when you're a kid,
Right.
we
all do stupid things. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you know, but looking back, you know, what happened was when the indictment came down, Andrew Reynolds reached out to me and he said, get that thing off of your leg. And I knew what he meant. What happened was there was a tattoo parlor on Avenue U on West 11th Street. I walked in there and I got a cover up on the number 2 I had. It's a little scorpion, and I still have it. But so when they picked me up, they were looking for the tattoo. They didn't find it. You know, that's just what you said. Once you know what I mean, they were looking for the tattoos because now they made us into a hit team,
right?
You know, with the numbers on us,
right?
So,
right.
But you're absolutely right. It was a stupid thing to do.
Yeah,
sure.
Look, I understand we're all young and dumb, and when you know you got your friends, right, and you're clicked up, you know, you guys think you're untouchable. I've been there, but yeah, I don't know if that was the best idea. You probably getting it covered up was probably a good look. You know what? Let me ask you this. There's a couple of different questions I wanted to bounce off.
I'll tell you, but there is a photo. There is a photo I have that I took in prison, and it's me standing on a rock, and you could see the number 2 on my leg.
Right.
You know?
Okay. So, cool.
Well, go ahead. Yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
say.
the next I had a couple of specific questions. Just in the book, it says Dean Benicillo. Just for sake of conversation, right? I'm not trying to blow up anybody's spot. If people have moved on with their lives, then let it be, right? So, a salute to them for moving on and putting the past behind them as you're attempting to do, right? I mean, they wrote in the book that, and you said it, like 8 minutes, like he was in an interrogation room for 8 minutes or whatever. Like, how could that be verified? I mean, you caught wind of that, I'm assuming.
Well, the thing is, look, when the feds come and get you, they're always going to go after the weak link.
Right.
And Dean was one of the weak links because he came from we all came from good families, but his family is more legit. He was a college kid.
Right.
He was into the pot game, maybe a little cocaine here and there. But when he got pinched, the thing is, look, there's certain people, when you put cuffs on them, they can't have cuffs on them. Understand?
Right.
When they walk in a cell, they can't. I mean, it's not fit for them.
Of course, I understand.
And he was one of those guys. And within 8 minutes, that's it. He cooperated. I'm saying he's one of them that cooperated quick.
Right.
Now the thing is he involved in any of the murders? No, he's not. But he's involved in the drugs.
Right. Right. The other thing that I think I read in the book was and it sticks out to me, right? And I caught most of your videos, but it said that Paulie Galino, after he got into that incident with Spiro, that he had Mikey Yamini like around him all of the time with a machine gun or some crazy shit like that. Do you know if that's true? I know you were locked up.
No, that is definitely accurate for sure. Because listen, we used to carry guns all the time. And Paulie G was a ballsy kid. And there was a story about, after Paulie G pushed Sparrow, Paulie G had the intention of eventually killing Joe Benanti and Anthony Sparrow.
Wow.
If he had killed them, that's what he was going to do. So he definitely was walking around, and that someone might have caught wind of that. And that's the reason why they said, listen, Paulie's got to go right away. Because, if you keep him out a little longer,
right,
he just might accomplish that.
Now, these other people, Mikey Yamini and Gonzalez, these people, they've moved on with their lives and they're still alive. To your knowledge, they're still alive.
Now let's not put them in the same category. Mikey Yamini cooperated with the government. Anthony Gonzalez didn't.
Okay, yeah, I'm not trying to throw any
I
shade against.
I know you're not. I just wanted to clarify.
No, you're right. You should make that clarification. 100%.
So
but
yeah,
these people are still. I mean, if they are alive and they moved on, then again, it's I hope they've turned their lives around for the better. Hopefully, they have families and whatnot. But to your knowledge, these people, are they still alive? Or I mean,
yes, these guys are still alive. A couple of these guys are working in the union.
Right.
As far as Mikey Amin, I don't know what's up with him. I know he's got a lot of mental problems. He was like a mental patient. But basically, a lot of guys are doing jail time. Who cooperated and who's dead?
Yeah. So I got another big question for you. This is a big one I've been meaning to ask you, right? And it just you're always doing these live shows on date because I have a child too, right? Married, and you're always doing it at times when like I can't hop on here. You just so happen to come on tonight where I'm usually chilling out, right? So if Paulie Galino was able to avoid that whole incident with Spiro, let's just say it never happened, right? Sake of conversation. Do you think today, right, 2022, he would still be alive?
I'm not sure. I'm saying I'm not sure, but I could tell you this.
I mean, the likelihood that he would have got pinched or
no. He would
other shit would have came up. Of course, he's your best friend. I would hope he would still be alive for your sake.
He would definitely got indicted, okay, and he would have definitely got straightened out. That's for sure, 100%, okay, and that's any one of us that if we were still in that life, But unfortunately, look, his own friend kills him. I'm saying right in his house for his mother,
Right.
for his mother and father to, you know, I wish his enemy would have killed him. You know, growing up with Paulie always said, you know what, when I want it, I want to get it in the face. I want to see it. I'm saying, and they gave it to him back of the head, you know, but yeah, I think he would have been alive. He would have definitely got indicted. I mean, he had a whole bunch of bodies on him. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, look, I appreciate the information. This is the other thing, and I don't mean to get into too heavy a shit with you, but you know, do you mind if I ask you specifically about, obviously, you know, the incident with the home invasion?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, right. You that what that exactly took place in what, 92 or 93, right?
That I could actually give you the date on that. That's
Yeah,
how.
I'm sure you.
That's
Yeah,
how.
sure you think about it every day.
That's February 18th, 1993.
Okay, February 18th, 1993. Then you got picked up on something else when until
I could tell you everything what happened that whole day. But go ahead.
Well, you got picked up on something else, and then you served time, and then what did you say, 98 or 99 you got out, right?
Now, this is what happened.
Like a month, 6 months or something, right?
I did a small bid in I think it was 91. Okay. Now I got picked up in 93 of May for a bank robbery. Okay. I got actually 5 years for that, 57 months. And then from there, I had a 4 to 8 that was on top of that, ran concurrent. So when I was done with my bank robbery, the state was waiting for me outside. And they took me, brought me to Rikers Island. From Rikers Island, I went downstate. From downstate, I went upstate. I saw the parole board. They CR'd me. So they hit me with another 18 months. I had to finish that up in the state. So I did a total of maybe almost close to 6 years, I would say. Okay.
I mean, it's
Go
ahead.
So this is what I'm saying is that that was done in February of 93. I got picked up in May of 93. Now, all these things, you know, I kept my mouth shut. Okay.
That's kind of what I was getting at.
I know exactly where you're getting at. I mean, listen, I'm a pretty smart guy. Okay. So look, I know where you're getting at. So,
no, but I'm not, bro. I'm not trying to throw you. I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. Where I'm getting at is like that whole time. Did you feel like in your heart of hearts that, look, I'm not. If I was in that position, right, I would like to think I could keep my mouth shut, but I don't know.
Let me tell you something. Now let me tell you something, okay? Because
this isn't something. And again, I saw most of your videos, but you haven't really touched on, like, did you feel like, hey, there's no ifs, ands, or buts. This is gonna come out at some point in time.
Now, Tommy, look, this is the thing. Okay.
Right.
Now, if I come forward on that time when I got picked up for that bank robbery, I can tell you this: I don't do 1 day in jail. Okay. I don't do 1 day in jail. That's 100%.
Right.
Okay. But you know what? It wasn't in me to come forward. Okay. It wasn't in me because that's not what I was taught when I was a kid.
Right.
I was taught to, you know what? Keep your mouth shut. Okay. And you know what? I live by that code. Now I came home November 98. So I did 5.5 years total on that time. When I came home November 98, what happened was the first thing I wanted to do was I became friendly with a guy by the name of Matty Madonna. Matty Madonna took me to go see Sparrow Joe Benanti, and I wanted to get away from my friends, okay, because I know they killed my best friend Paulie G, and that's what I did. And after I was on record with Matty Madonna, I saw Fabrizio on Bath Avenue. We had a small conversation. Fabrizio said, he said, Jimmy, he said, I'm so mad that Sparrow Joe Benanti released you. I said, Fabrizio, what's the big deal? Whether I'm here, whether I'm there, we're still friends. I'm saying, and he just got straightened out. So that was my main concern, to get away from them. I'm saying now, within 11 months, now I'm re-indicted and I'm back in federal prison.
Right.
So then that's when I said, you know what? I saw the indictment. I saw my friends killed, my best friend. It's on the indictment, Tommy and Joey Calco. Joey Calco's cooperating. I said, you know what? Okay, I'm done. I'm saying, that's it. It's time to do the right thing. Plus, my family came up, and I was so Look, I was so embarrassed, okay, being involved with this home invasion with this woman, because when I knocked on that door, okay, I didn't go there to kill a woman, okay, and that was eating me up. Saying it really was. It was eating me up, and I wanted to let that out. I'm saying,
Right. That's kind of what I was getting at. Was that
I didn't want to tell. I didn't want to tell my mother or my sister or my father that I was involved in this, because it was embarrassing. I'm saying,
yeah.
And and I got a cousin that's a first grade detective too. Okay, he's my first cousin on my father's side, and me and him, we really didn't get to know each other until after later on. But he went to the prosecutor, and you know, he told me, he said, Jimmy, he said, you know, they got a lot of shit on you, stuff like that, and you know, I was dead in the water. I'm saying, you know, they want to give me a plea deal like 50 years or something. So, and my family was saying, Jimmy, you mean tell me you just came home, you kept your mouth shut, you're gonna go back to jail? I'm saying, and so a lot of people don't know about this story. I'm saying, and these guys on YouTube, they want to create their own story about me, understand? Because they're cowards. They really are.
Yeah. No, it's you know, it's a crazy thing. That's the one thing I gotta admit with all of this shit is like the home invasion thing. Like, look, if you happen to choose that life, you know, you got a family, right? If you go went to sleep tonight and God forbid somebody, knock on wood, right, that somebody would fucking come into your house, right, and take. Well, to me, that's kind of getting on a different level of crime and shit. But I understand, you know, it may have been a routine, or you guys had thought there was research done to be like, okay, this is going to be a situation where nobody's going to get hurt. But what is kind of fucked up is this woman, right? Which I'm, again, you know more about it than me. There's no background information on this woman's life whatsoever, except for the fact that she died in the fashion that she died, and she had, you know, she had 3 kids. You know, you can't even find out information about the husband either, right? And so it's again, I don't mean to open up a can of worms talking about all this shit, but
it's fine. It's fine.
If there was any type of way where like you're able to connect, and again, I don't know, I'm sure maybe the family would never want to talk to any of the people involved, but if there was any type of closure for you, right, with it, or some sort of connection, right, or communication, and again, it wouldn't have to be online, you know, that may be really beneficial, you know, for you or even for them, because it really is, it's sad. Every time I read, you know, and you guys talk about home invade, to me it's, you're going to a different level of crime. And you know, the thing that I hate about the mob shit is that they say, oh well, we don't include the families or whatever. That's bullshit, because a lot of times it's or breaking the rules. A lot of times it could just be a greed thing, like, we don't, I owe this guy money and I'm just gonna take him out or make up some bullshit about him.
Now let me just clarify something, okay?
Right. And again, I'm not throwing any shade at you.
I understand, Tommy.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I understand.
Yeah.
Look, it's a good question, and things, you know what? I'm able to talk about it.
Okay.
Now the thing is, let me clarify this. You know, when I knocked on the door and the woman answered, I went to go say something to her. As I went to go say something to her, I just hear pow, and I see this woman go flying across the room. Now, she's at the door, so we never got in the house. Okay,
right.
I got Mikey Yamini standing next to me, and Tommy Reynolds is on the side of me. Mikey Yamini's on one side, I'm in the middle, Tommy's on the other side. Tommy's got his gun out. Now, I don't got my gun out, I have a gun on me. Okay, and Chris is waiting in the car. He just pulled up. We just got out of the car. Chris Pasio's waiting in the car. He's our getaway car. This is his score.
Right.
Okay? Now, the woman's not even supposed to be there, because who's supposed to answer the door is a guy. So when I seen the woman answer the door, I was like, whoa, this woman ain't even supposed to be here.
Right.
I'm saying a guy's supposed to be here because the score that I'm doing is it's a guy that owns X-rated video store.
Right.
He's home. He's got a safe in the house, and all of a sudden, I see this woman answer the door. I'm like, whoa! Now this lady just caught me off guard. Saying, and within a matter of, I say, a second, I just see her go flying across the room. I'm saying she got hit with a 45. I'm like, what the fuck? Holy shit! And then I just jetted right to the car.
Yeah.
And they followed me to the car. And once I got in the car, I said, Tommy, I said, what the fuck did you do? Holy shit. He said, Jimmy, he said, I don't know. Just the gun just went off. He said, oh, me. And Chris was like in shock. He said, what happened? What happened? What happened? And then, you know, a whole bunch of fucking nonsense.
It's wild because, you know, again, I've read articles later on. Now you can find all this shit off of Google, right? I mean, the kids think, or they thought at one point in time that the father was behind the whole thing to kill the wife.
And you know what? That's the thing too. Now the thing is,
because it was a second marriage, I think, and the kids had the biological father was a different guy.
He was getting accused.
Right.
He was getting accused, but there was no way of you know, saying that he was involved.
Right.
You know, but they were. The finger was pointing at him.
Just for sake of conversation, right? You, and again, I don't know if you want to share this or not, but when you got the information from Chris, I mean, what did he tell you guys? Did he say who he got the information from, or he just said, you know, this guy's got a ton of fucking money in his house and it's only going to be him in the house? Like, you know, I'm just
it was basically. Yeah. You know, look, we've been talking about this score for 2 weeks before time.
Right.
Saying, and you know, Chris gave us the score. We did scores with Chris before. Obviously, we did a successful score with him with the Staten Island Mall. We got close to $500,000.
Yeah.
I'm saying that was me, Tommy Reynolds, the kid Gerard Bellafiore. So you know, we did a few successful things with him. And you know, so he comes to me and he tells me, you know, he's got this guy that owns X-rated video stores in Manhattan, and he's got a safe in the house with maybe close to $1 million in it. You know, so you know, we're talking about this, and eventually we're saying, you know what, let's do this. I'm saying, when can we do this? Because, you know, $1 million, okay, you know what, that's $200,000 in my pocket. You know, so
yeah.
Tommy Reynolds did all my scores with me, so I grabbed Tommy. And that particular night, I never do anything with Mikey and me.
Right.
I just said, you know what, Tommy? I said, Paulie, I said, you mind if I use Mikey? He said, go ahead. He said, take him. So, but the kid Mikey and me, every fucking thing I ever did with him in my lifetime, seriously, he was a fucking jinx. Seriously, every score I did with this kid, it never ever worked out. He was the biggest jinx in the world. Seriously.
Right. Yeah, it's a crazy situation. Again, you don't even know, like, you don't know if this guy is still alive and the kids and all that. It's sad.
No, it's definitely, look, it's definitely.
It sounds like the way how you guys planned your bank robberies. The reason why I'm saying it's so different, right, is that when you guys planned your bank robberies, based off everything I've read and everything that you tell us, right, you know, it's not like you guys were going in there putting guns to people's faces and stuff. You planned it, your 3-day weekends where you know, you're trying to not have any violence occur whatsoever. You know, to me, it's like you go in that, you put yourself in that situation, and it's like, I mean, do you go in with the mindset being like, all right, we're gonna tie this guy up and go for the safe? And
only if it needs to be done. Which, in all honesty,
if the house is empty, then you know, that's best case scenario, I'm guessing, right?
Exactly. The only way that something like that needs to be done is if someone's really giving you a hard time and they're not giving it to you. I'm saying, but in that case, you probably just throw some handcuffs on them, and you know what? I mean, you're trying to get out of there. It's all about, look, element of surprise. You're running in, you're running out. I'm saying, I mean, you don't want to stick around too long.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, were you guys on drugs, or was Reynolds on?
You know what? Listen, look, we were not on drugs, okay? And at the time, Tommy Reynolds was not on drugs, okay? He didn't go there high. Was he doing drugs here and there? I'm sure he was, but he didn't go there high. I mean, we didn't go do a score on drugs. I mean, it would never work. I'm saying, and Chris was never on drugs. I'm saying Chris was basically just a money guy. Chris loved to rob. His nickname was the Binger because he binged on crime.
Right.
At the end, and at the end of all this story, Chris is the one who's the most successful.
Right. So to me, that's the funny thing about it, because he's, you know, he's banged Sofia Vergara and Madonna and all and it's, you know, to me, that's kind of funny. You know, again, if it sounds like he turned his life around, but I'm sure all of the financial backing that he had from what was it, the Wild Bill and all those people when he went down to Miami helped him. But
Ali Boy helped him. You know, a couple families had actually beefs about him. So you had the Gambino family try to claim him, the Colombo family claim him, and then eventually he had to pick a side, and he picked the Colombos.
Right. Well, look, I mean, I could probably bounce some more off you. The one thing, the whole thing with the Gus Faraci thing is that's fucking crazy, right? Everybody knows the basic story, but like the next day, when the cops were like cracking down on social clubs and like were they coming along Bath Avenue and like, because this guy was on the run for a while.
Yeah,
I mean, he was. That was a long time. He was able to avoid getting captured.
I'm going to tell you about Faraci, okay? Gus Faraci was a bad boy, okay? If you seen him, you would shit yourself. Okay?
Yeah, he looked gigantic.
That's how tough he was. He really was a tough guy.
Yeah.
Okay? He was no joke. Okay? I mean, he's a guy you got to run up to him and you got to shoot him. Okay, because you ain't even gonna stab him. He's just gonna take it from you and beat you down and kill you with your own knife.
I mean, he had to be roided up. I mean, he was a young guy too. He was like 28 years old.
That's the thing. He was roided up and he wasn't thinking right. And you know what? He didn't know the guy that he killed was a DEA agent.
Right.
But once he killed that DEA agent, those feds, those DEA agents and the FBI, they went to every social club, whether it was on Bath Avenue, downtown Brooklyn, 11th Avenue.
They went to John Gotti, right? They went to everybody.
They went everywhere, every social club, and they said, "Listen, we want him dead or alive." I'm saying, so it was like telling him, you know, we don't care as long as he comes up, we don't care, you know.
Yeah.
And in that story, there's a story behind that one. Louis Tuzio ends up killing him.
Right.
Louis Tuzio shoots.
Yeah, it was on 18th and 81st. So I used to live right down the block from New Utrecht. I don't live in Brooklyn anymore, but I used to live right down the block in New Utrecht. That was on like 18th and 81st. But I think in one of your videos you just drove around there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all the shit that happened in that neighborhood is you know, it's really unbelievable.
Look, there's a lot of murders that happen in that neighborhood. Yeah. Hundreds of murders that people. Listen, people.
And that's the ones that we hear about that have come out, you know, after time.
And there's also still a lot of unsolved murders there, you know. So I mean, look at these two kids who were killed actually in the year 2000. You got the two twins; they were killed.
Right? Yeah.
I mean, nobody talks about them. But listen, there's a lot of murders, and there was a lot of murderers in that neighborhood. A lot of people didn't realize how vicious and treacherous that neighborhood was.
Let me get one more in, Joe, because you mentioned this. Joe Benanti was under one of the captain, right? So because I sent you left a comment. He was the three capos, right? Sonny Red, Trin, and Philly Lucky. You can't find information about the last two people. There's really not that much information. Which capo was he under? Then they decided like to kind of spare the people, the soldiers that were underneath those capos, right?
Well, Joe Benanti, one of those captains was his captain.
Yeah. Okay. You just don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of those captains was his captain. I can't tell you which one.
Right.
After they killed him, then they put him with a guy from the Bronx. Okay. I know the guy's name. I just don't have it on the top of my head.
Right.
But because I remember who his captain was. I just don't have it right now. But Joe Benanti, he was never a money guy. Joe Benanti was he was a tough guy. He never went anywhere in life. He was a brokester, and we're the ones who put him in action. I'm saying he never even owned a car until we got him a Cadillac. And we started giving him some drug money, and that's when he started making money. And that life, when you're a wise guy, right away you have green eyes, meaning it's all about the dollar, the mighty dollar. Okay, changes you once you see the money coming in. Now, there's a flip side to Paulie G getting killed too. Because once the wise guy starts seeing the money coming in, who's in the way? Paulie G. I'm saying Paulie G's getting $10,000 a month, not $10,000 a week.
Right.
So, that's 40. That's 40,000 a month. Okay.
So that's kind of going back to the point that I was talking about before. Is that in that life, if somebody wants to make an excuse to take you out, whether it be just greed, which is a lot of the time, that's a lot of the time, right? Or you want to fuck this guy's girl, or something like that, then let's make up something about him, right? Where
Absolutely.
Right. So that's what I'm saying. It is like you say all the time, it's bullshit. But I don't like whenever I hear, oh, they don't touch people that aren't in the life, or if it's only you broke the rules, that's a crock of shit. Because
it's all bullshit. It's all bullshit because the thing is, look, if they want you dead, this way they do. They kill you and then they'll call you a rat. Meanwhile, you were never a rat. I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, look, it's a vicious life.
Like the kid on that 19-year-old kid. Was that kid even cooperate? The kid that got whacked out on New York Avenue?
That kid wasn't cooperating. I mean, this kid wanted to be a part of the street.
He wanted to make a little money. He wanted to take his girl out. Yeah.
He didn't know anything that he was getting himself involved in. He didn't know about Joey Calco or Tommy Reynolds or Fabrizio Di Francisci. He knew they were tough kids and they were, their names in the street were bad, but he didn't think he was going to get killed.
Yeah.
And in all honesty, the kid didn't deserve to get killed.
Yeah. Let me ask you this other guy they talk a lot in that book, Michael Caruso, that he did the clubs and all that shit, right? Apparently he did a lot of it. I mean, it's crazy that he's not locked up,
he's a big schemer.
Right. I mean, this guy's still alive, apparently living in Staten Island, and just was able to get away with all the shit that he did, 30 years ago now.
Well, you know what? Look, I don't know where he's living, but if you know anything really about him, you know that he was a part of the what's the rap group?
Wu-Tang Clan.
Yeah,
I read something, and then they didn't know that he became.
There's another book out there. It's called Clubland.
And so that's the other one that I read too.
Yeah, that's a good book too. I think it's from Frank something.
Yeah, Frank Owen is some. Yeah.
But it's a good book.
He testified against Peter Gation.
Yes, and back in the day, Peter Gation was he was a big shot with the clubs. Now he's in Toronto.
Right.
But listen, hey, back in those times, let me tell you something. They were really good times.
I mean, I went even when again, I'm 20 years younger than you are, but in the early 2000s, Sound Factory, there was another one, Exit. That was, the Tunnel was still, they had teen nights and stuff like that. It was 12, 13, 14 years old. We used to take the train to go to the teen nights. We couldn't get into the 18 and overs, even though we were dying to, but we had a lot of fun before we went in. And then when we went in, forget about it. But, they all looked at us like Bridge and Tunnel, which I'm sure is the same for you guys. But the clubs even back then were fucking insane.
But you know what it is? The clubs back then were the best, man.
They were the best because now you have fucking bottle service everywhere. So there is no nightlife in New York City. And in my opinion, there really hasn't been any since, I don't know, the mid 2000s, because there's fucking tables everywhere. There's tables everywhere. The phones, People go there just to take a fucking picture. It's not like you
Exactly.
go there to
It's
meet some broad from, Connecticut or New Jersey or somebody that's looking to hook up with a guy from Brooklyn or Queens, So,
But you're
but
right about that.
yeah.
I'll tell you, you're right about that. But I'll tell you, the best clubs right now are probably in Miami.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, they're like 24 hours. I mean, the ones that are in like Ibiza are supposedly crazy too. But it's kind of sad to be honest with you, because now where I live now, I live in Northern Virginia now. And when people tell me to go, they're going to Manhattan. Obviously, COVID has fucked everything up. But when they tell me to go, like where to go out and stuff, it's like, I could tell you to go do family shit, but like to go out at night, I mean, you got to the whole shit with the bottle service is all a big,
It's all about
jerk
this.
off.
Everything
Yeah,
money today.
that's right.
It's all about the money.
That's right. That's right.
Back then, it was all about the nice time.
Right.
You dress up, you go out, you have a nice time, you meet people, you mingle, you dance.
That's right. 100%. Yeah, and all the things you talk, the things you talk about, the feast. The Hallway Avenue feast stopped in the year 2000, which was 22 years ago. But I remember, and you probably remember, used to be able to go in the bingo hall on Bay 46th Street and Hallway, and used to be able to gamble in the bingo hall if you were like 10, 11 years old.
Of course, absolutely.
So the school that I went to was Most Precious Blood, which is closed down now probably 15 years. I know they closed down St. Finbar's too, even though it still acts as a church. But the block parties, before they started banning the fireworks and all that shit, those were the best. And playing, like one of the other things that, you probably have said it, but playing Manhunt, like we used to play Manhunt on Shore Parkway in the Big Cropsey Park.
Of course, absolutely, yeah, of course.
And the 17th Avenue Park, because you have all the fucking buildings over there. So you used to be able to run like in between the buildings, and we used to play, all night. But you're right; those days are long gone.
You know what it is? Look, this destroyed everything right here.
That's right. You're 100% right. Things were so much better.
Things were so much better. You know what it is? Because people were more social. You had to get more involved. Right. You had to get close.
And things were actually settled. When you're talking about, we got to get into a fight. Okay, guys, it's different with girls. Girls, you get into a fight, forget about it. They're not talking for years. But guys get into a fight, it's like, okay, let's throw down and see what happens. And then the next day we're friends again. Now with social media and all that, there's no way to resolve it.
It's all, look, what it became is, in all honesty, I mean, even the morals and the values of when I was a kid, I had respect. The kids today don't have respect.
Yep.
And everybody, even with people on YouTube, coming out of your mouth.
That's right.
Disrespecting people. I mean, listen, these guys don't even know. Seriously. Yeah. They don't know. They could rah what they want. You see them in person, believe me, it's a different ball game.
Yeah. I caught your video the other day with people moving out and the for sale signs. I mean, the thing is like, can you really blame them? In my opinion, you have two daughters, right? I have a daughter.
Absolutely.
It's for what you're gonna get for if you are able to become a homeowner. Hopefully, you're doing okay in life. It's impossible to get ahead up there. And then on top of it, you got to worry about when we used to take the trains, right? I mean, I remember in 2000, my second day of high school was 9/11. When we took the trains back then, we were still worried about anthrax and bombs on the trains. You used to have to stop the train all the time.
The last time I took a train, in all honesty, I'll tell you, I had a statement contest with somebody.
Right.
I mean, look, on the train, I carry a blade. I'm saying, so, I mean, I'm getting ready to stick somebody. I mean, if I have to. I mean, this is New York City. I mean, anyone comes close to you, that's it. I mean, but look, New York City, just what you said before, look, you cannot get ahead.
That's right.
My Easy Pass every month is $400.
Yeah. Yep. You can't get ahead there. It don't even make a difference if you're making good money. Seriously, even if you're making $150,000 a year, it's hard for you to fucking get ahead up there. And then if you got kids on top of it,
exactly, you can't get ahead.
No, it's impossible to get it. So I understand you. Trust me. This is what I tell everybody. I love it and I hate it equally. I love being spontaneous. I love the food, the nightlife. I used to love. Right. I love all that shit. But the taxes, the cost of living, the politics, I'm not even going to get into. The cops always looking to fucking pull you up. They want to pull over the people that don't need to be pulled over, but the people that do need to be pulled over, they're afraid to fucking, they're afraid to fucking go after people. They are.
Right.
And then with the cameras on the phones nowadays, they're afraid to do their job.
You know what?
So,
Because that's the thing. You know what? For example, the same thing with the subway thing yesterday.
yeah.
Okay? I mean, look, something like this goes down. When something like this goes down, right away you want the cops for help, right? But
Yeah.
the thing is, you also now want to defund the cops. So what do you want? Do you want
Yeah.
the cops or you want to defund the cops? I mean, listen, we need
right.
the cops on the street to protect the people we love.
That's right. Yeah.
You know?
And you're saying that from a person for look, your former life. If you're saying that, like it's insane. But you're right, it's impossible to get ahead up there. And it's so when I go visit it now, I feel like I go back for 3-4 days, right? I go to L&B or fucking I go to Chinatown or something, get some Chinese food. And then I come back home, to be honest with you, and I'm content.
You go home and you have peace.
That's right. That's right. Community I live in is nice and peaceful. I want to take my daughter out, fucking walk around. I don't need to worry about somebody. I mean, you look at the fucking news in Brooklyn, you have these people that are going up to elderly people and just punching them in the face for no reason whatsoever.
Crazy.
And sometimes these people are getting killed. They're falling down on the ground and they're hitting their head and they wind up dying.
It's terrible.
Yeah, it is. I hate to get morbid on you, but I've meant to hit you up for a while, and I support everything you got going on, turning your life around. What would all the guests are great. The Tommy Dades. I mean, he's
I'm gonna have Tommy Days on tomorrow night. Him and Mike Vacchione.
Yeah,
and they're gonna be talking about a skull case where the skull was washed upon a shore, and it was on the homicide division's case for maybe over 4 years. They couldn't solve the case, and eventually it fell on Tommy Days and Mike Vecchione's lap, and they ended up solving the case within maybe a week or two.
Wow.
So, it's some really good stuff. There was a mob associate that gave them some information on it. But tomorrow, 7 p.m., Tommy Days and Mike Vecchione. So if you guys are listening, we got 320 people in the chat. Tomorrow night, 7 p.m., Tommy Days and Mike Vecchione's going to be here. It's going to be a good story, good discussion. So I hope to see you guys again tomorrow.
Yeah, 100%. If not, I catch it on the replay if I'm commuting. But yeah, man, keep doing your thing. Hopefully, I'll be able to connect with you again. And yeah, I mean, if there's any way, I know it sounds crazy, right? But if there's any way that the family, right, you were able to connect or through an intermediary or something, that would really be something. You know
what? Listen, I would love to do that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
That would have to be on them. I mean,
right.
They could look. I'm sure they know they could reach out to me.
Right.
There's other, resources of reaching out to me, not only through me, but if they want to reach out to me, they could always reach out to me.
Yeah. No, you're getting a lot of exposure now.
And the thing is, look, when I came forward, that was one of the cases that I wanted to solve.
Right.
So, I testified about that case, and Anthony Spiro had nothing to do with that case. And I told the prosecutor that he had nothing to do with that case. And obviously, on that case, 3 people came forward on that case. There's 4 people there. 3 of them came forward: Chris Paciello, me, and the kid Mikey and me. So you know what? That case was corroborated and said truthful. So anybody who has anything to say about that case is,
yeah. Now you were in a tough spot, and then to come home and feel like you're getting your freedom back. And I'll be honest with you, if it's ended up being one of those things. It was an unsolved case. You know, I don't know if I would have had the balls to come out and say something. You know, I'm sure a lot of people will say, "Oh, you know, it you know, when you do something like that, you keep your mouth shut." But you know, you're talking about an innocent housewife, and these kids losing a mother. I'm sure there was some sort of closure there, but yeah, look, I think you're doing the right thing. The interviews are all great, and just keep doing your thing, man.
Thanks, Tommy.
Answer
Listen,
the questions.
Tommy, it was a nice meeting
Yeah,
you.
it was nice meeting you too.
Hey, thanks for coming in, and
You got it.
I don't know, hopefully see you again soon.
Yeah, well, we'll talk again soon. Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
That was Tommy from Brooklyn. Thanks for coming in. Well, guys, I did an hour 40 minutes. I want to appreciate everybody coming in today. Gary, I see you. Thanks for showing up. Don Berlin, what's up, pal? Mike the Printer. To all you guys, I appreciate you. Thanks for showing up. We're close to maybe 340 people in the chat. Tomorrow night, I have Tommy Dades here with Mike Vecchione. They're going to be talking about the Skull case. It's going to be a great discussion, a great story. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. I love you guys. Just again, I appreciate you. Thank you for your support, for your love. And I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. We're going to have the Skull case. Thanks, guys. Bye.
The streets will never make you grow. It's not a seed, it's a gutter. There's no happy endings in this life. So this is my message to you. The streets will never love you back.